Well, formally, we become a Buddhist by the act known as, in English at least, as taking refuge in the three jewels. The three rare and precious objects, which are the Buddha and his teaching, the Dharma, and the Sangha, the community of men and women who practice the Buddha's Dharma. And the sense that word refuge, or sharana in Sanskrit, or chap in Tibetan, has a sense of protection. So then that immediately should raise the question, protection from what? Well, actually, this goes back to why do we want to follow the Dharma? Why do we want to engage with it? Because we're motivated at first by our sense of frustration, of disappointment and suffering. That we've been taking refuge throughout this life and from countless lives, but all in the wrong things. We're looking for sources of happiness, for sources of security, things we can depend on, we can rely on to deliver happiness and to free us from suffering, but they've never worked out. They've always been deviations, they've always been blind alleys. And so whatever it is, money, power, relationships, gods, we've taken refuge in all of them so many times and always been let down, always been disappointed. So finally we found something reliable. Because for us, the Buddha is the best of all teachers. That's what we've come to by looking around at different things, that's what we've come to conclude. And his Dharma, his prescription of our situation, his prescription of what can cure it, the path, we find is what's going to work for us, is what works for us. And the Sangha, the other men and women who practice the Dharma, who did practice the Dharma in the past and do now, they're the best kind of friends we can have in this path of practicing the Dharma. So we take refuge. We rely on them. So we rely on the refuges as like the ground or the foundation for our spiritual path. It's something reliable to step upon. Finally, the refuge is nothing other than the nature of our own mind. Because in the kind of real depth of Dharma, we discover that the true nature of our mind transcends even birth and death. It is empty, it is luminous, it is unobstructed, and it was never produced, will never cease, yet it is endowed with limitless awareness. We call this, in Sanskrit, the Dharmakaya, the body of truth. And that actually is finally the fundamental nature of the mind of all beings. And that's the ultimate refuge. But right now, we cannot perceive this. We can dimly intuit it, maybe, but we cannot perceive it, let alone settle in it. So we need the medium, we need the connection with this that is afforded by the Buddha, Dharma and Sangha. Because what attracts us to the Buddha, Dharma and Sangha, to take refuge in three jewels, is, as I said, this kind of dim intuition that actually the real source of refuge is ultimately the nature of our mind. But we can't yet discern that properly. So we make a start on the journey to recognize and become the Dharmakaya through taking refuge.